It's a candy bar. Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday because it's Sunday today. Um, I'm Matt from Shadow Moses 112, producer and one of the designers of our shit. And I'm here with Pete.
Hello, I'm Pete. Happy Sunday.
And today we have a special guest, our first guest, someone that me and Dan know. Pete and I know. But to bring him on because yes, Danlaw83 knows himself too, and I can speak words. Dan, thanks for coming on. I appreciate you, and you're our first guest.
I appreciate you yelling at me to remind me this was even happening, and I also wanted to steal a line from you. I remember my first broadcast too.
Yes, and he's wearing the ghost shirt. Is that the one you got at the show?
Yes.
Yes, nice. I don't even listen to them, but that was such a good concert.
I was happier than a pig in. Are we allowed to curse?
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
I was happier than a pig in shit that you were texting me during the show going, "This is great."
Yeah, you were like, I don't know if he's gonna like this, and I was like, yeah, this is awesome. And even Amon Amarth, which definitely is not your element, even they put on an awesome show. Like their set, everything they did was awesome. Like they had this giant backdrop, these two inflatable Viking statues, whatever you call it, that the drummer was sitting on was an
the riser, right?
Platform, and a riser, but it looked like a Viking helmet, and it had these two holographic like LEDs in the eyes, and it was constantly changing to like if they were singing about like hell or on their ships and stuff like that, or like if they're talking about plundering for riches, because they're very much a gimmick band, despite being like a thrash Swedish metal band. They're very much a Viking gimmick, and it was just really cool the way they brought that in, even with the guy having the giant axe and he's fighting the inflatable Leviathan. Just really cool. And speaking of like all those backdrops and the props and everything like that, Dan is a huge Ghostbusters fan, and like we can see all the stuff. I know that it's something I've mentioned before. The HasLabs, the HasLab is. I thought you were pointing at. Yeah, there he is. I thought you were pointing at Stay Puft back there, but yeah, Dan has the whole proton pack, and then both he and I pre-ordered those that newest HasLab crowdfunder.
I want to let that run now too. It'll. What's great about it is, as I bash my knee into the desk and pretend it doesn't hurt, it still has that shutdown mode. So if you leave that running, it'll actually time out and shut down and have the shutdown sound. I accidentally discovered. I think I had it a month, and I just shot it until it ran out, and it overloaded and shut down on me. It gave me an alert noise. It shook violently and then shut off. So it's got, I don't know, like 5 different modes programmed into that thing. And like in the latest, the last movie, or the second to last now, in Afterlife, you take the cyclotron off and work on the workings inside of it. Changing things around actually changes the sound modes. So you can have the sound modes from the original series, or you switch it to the newer sound modes from Afterlife, or I guess what is Frozen Empire. And you have to take the pieces out of the inside of the cyclotron and hit a switch to do it. Like, it's fully interactive isn't the word for it. The only thing that doesn't do is smoke. And I know a guy that can get it to. I know a guy. That's a pun. Noah guy. Right. I can call you Matt on here. His name is Noah. If you pay for shipping, if you ship your proton pack, that HasLab pack to him, he will program in smoke and crazy. Others. He has. The man knows what to. And I'm just like, talk myself out of that. Don't do that. That thing. The second part of that story is the actual Neutrona wand was sold, a year and a half, Matt.
Yeah, that one was sold way before that. Because that's Egon's wand, right?
Yeah, it's the Afterlife wand, which was modded by Egon after he left New York. It's still running, by the way, if you can't hear it. And it was sold in like the spring of 2020, and of course, we'd like to forget, but there's something that happened that year that caused chaos and mass hysteria, no pun intended, that threw the movie back another year and a half. So this Neutrona wand, the actual gun from the pack, was out for like a year and a half. Little did we know that they built the pack to work with the gun, and it allowed you, as soon as you pulled the pack out of the box, you took the original battery pack out of the gun and you hooked it up to the battery pack that's in the proton pack, and they work simultaneously. So the other great thing, Pete, that just shut down.
Yeah.
It was coming. If you turn on the proton gun out of sequence, it will short and shut down. You have to hit bottom switch,
that's what
middle switch, load switch, pull the stock for the wand to pop out. And if you do any of that out of sequence, it malfunctions on purpose. Like that's another built-in insane. Considering it was $400 retail, it does more that should be like $1,500. Like I don't understand. What I'm saying is it should be a lot. It should be a lot.
Price right there.
Yeah, feed the corporations. What I'm saying
Dan,
is
it was nice having you on. Hasbro.
Yeah, I gotta go. No. I just made that and I pulled that number out of my ass. But my main point is I saw a lot of people complaining how much it was, but I've been waiting for something that, because people will build these for like $1,500. That's the reason I pulled
when you did the unboxing. Like that thing's fucking awesome, and like it's a testament to what HasLabs does. Like that's why I pre-ordered the other things. The
Ghost Trap PKE meter.
Yeah, thank you. I wanted to say spectrometer, but I'm like, that's not it. But like,
kind of.
But that's why I pre-ordered those, because like they're so good and like they're prop replica quality. Like they're made by Hasbro, but like they're awesome. And like even this tank is fucking awesome. And we'll come back to that later.
Oh, okay.
No, the his tank. You're fine.
Oh no,
I was in too deep at that point. It's all right.
Genesis reference. Our friend Stahl is watching, and she told me to remind me to say something very off color to get the show to derail, but I won't. The build quality you're mentioning is crazy because they kind of modded the paint job to be like it doesn't look like a toy has been weathered. It looks like this thing has been sitting like Pete, you saw Afterlife, right?
Yeah, I saw Afterlife.
Okay. It's sitting, it looks like it had been sitting there for 30, 40 years. And these kids found it, and you have that same thing. It's incredible. And I had a dream about the Ghost Trap toy the other night. I dreamed about it. And I'm like, it's going to have a pedal with the wire that connects to the trap. I've been wanting that for all of my life. Just click it and it opens up. God, I'm a nerd.
That's all right. Well, like, I mean, that's what you collect. So, you also, you're.
This came with it too. The
the marshmallows.
These marshmallows are. You can fit it on certain parts of the pack, and it looks like it's actually dripping off the pack. The little mini marshmallows.
So, like awesome. At the end of the movie, when Jet Set Radio Future has all the murdered little Stay Puft guys on them.
But I decided to drip it across the drum set because I think that looks funny, and everybody makes a dirty joke, and I'm like, well, come at me with something better.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's your little drum studio, and so that's what you So you're we know you're huge into Ghostbusters. Like, what other lines of the stuff do you collect?
I have.
Besides micro machines.
1, 2, stop it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12 different versions of a DeLorean.
Holy shit. There are
8
only
of them
versions of it.
Well, 8 of them are different versions of the Back to the Future movies, and 3 of them are legit DeLorean DMC-12s.
Okay.
One of them's there's 2 from Hot Wheels. One of them is on a little tripod that looks like it's flying from number 2. And I've started Eagle Moss. I know both of you guys know Eagle Moss.
Yeah.
I know. Unfortunately for me, I missed the original releases, so I'm very slowly finding the Star Trek ships that I want on eBay.
Very slowly, and also very hopefully completing the rest of the model, because Eagle Moss was in financial hot water a little while ago.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because my the God nerd the Excelsior from Star Trek 3 is missing a warp nacelle.
A what? A warp what?
A warp engine on the things that stick out of the side of the ship.
I thought you said the missile in a really strange way. I was
No,
like, "Man, are you having a stroke? Do you smell toast?"
No, it's water ice and warp nacelle.
So, and you also sent me a picture a while ago when we were first talking about having you on, and you said, "Does this count as collecting on the stream?" And I said, "No," but yes, it did. What was the other thing?
It was the Hess trucks.
Yes. That's kind of a niche, more of a 90s, 80s collectible thing, I think. Like, I don't know how many people, I don't know that a lot of young people collect those.
I will answer you like this. I don't know if a lot of young people collect it, but I literally have every year the large truck from the year I was born. So technically now I have 41, because this year was the past season was the 90th anniversary of Hess. And they actually, and my dad, that's his thing. I know, at least from my father, I'm getting a Hess truck. He's been doing it since I was born. He will do it until he's gone.
Does he just like stand out there in line like a man on the corner?
No, it doesn't happen anymore. It used to, but now you just order them online like everything else. Unfortunately, the thrill is gone.
Okay.
But what blew my mind this year, and Matt, you know a little bit more about his personal situation right now.
Yeah. Yep.
The 90th anniversary also came out, and you can only order one because they went so fast, and he ordered it for me. So I have 41 a year early because I have the 90th anniversary, and he told me how hard it was to get them. So somebody's buying them. I'm sure it's this God, I hate you have this stigma of collectors buying them and reselling them for 2 or 3 times their value on eBay. So God only knows who actually bought the damn things.
I mean, there's got to be some misunderstanding, because not everybody does that. I just did the upgrade for Last of Us Part 2, and I wanted the physical copy, and of course it's on eBay for like $180. And I'm like, cool, thanks guys.
Well, I mean, you and I can't get a hard copy of the game Evolve anymore for less than 100.
That's not people. Well, that's kind of people, but that's also because digital marketplace is bullshit.
I actually meant to text you.
Dan, that's what it is.
Yeah, I meant to text you a link to. I know you don't watch them for the comedy content. I do, because as I was told yesterday, and Kelly said thank you, that we think our flag means death is funny, so we don't have a sense of humor. So good job making her angry. She was like, "Oh, okay, I thought it was funny."
I have no reply at all. Sorry.
That is the 3rd one you've thrown in there, by the way.
5th.
Is it the 5th?
Yeah.
In too deep, misunderstanding, no reply at all. What did I miss?
Man on the corner.
Oh, you went deep with that, sir. Pete, if you don't know, he is, and you probably told you this, he is throwing in Genesis song titles at me. Yeah.
No, he does not.
Like every weird thing I say, it's a Genesis song.
When he said there must be some misunderstanding, and then went on to the sentence, I'm like, that's a roundabout. He said it. He did that on purpose. I see the 90th anniversary Hess truck going for no less than 170, no less than 150.
Wait, what anniversary?
The Hess truck 90th anniversary. It's
the Ocean. Yeah. Sorry,
it's an Ocean Explorer with a helicopter, which that's timely because of the Titan submersible, which made me laugh when I opened it.
Well, this is an ocean vessel that floats, Dan. It's entirely different.
No, the thing, the boat that guided it and directed it was an ocean explorer. It's exactly the boat that's in this box. Well, it's blue and white. Don't argue semantics with me. It's some sort of land of confusion.
I was gonna say that earlier about 2021, but I missed my I missed the
you missed the cue. I covered it, so we're back.
So,
we covered
okay.
it.
So we've been talking about collectibles and everything like that, but you do a whole lot with content creation. So I know that you have podcasts, plural, that you do with other people throughout the week, and then I know that you also have had other podcasts that just like disbanded as time goes on and stuff, and then I know that you stream on Twitch.
Well, I do all my gaming on Twitch, and I try to explain to people like it's a hobby. Like where a lot of the internet puts this, my word matters. I know my word doesn't matter. I'm on the bottom of a totem pole of a very, very large totem pole of very, very popular and important content. Like I know, I'm 40. Yeah. I'm not stupid, but I do it for a hobby. I like doing it because one of the things I got when I started doing it, the answer to one of the questions that would ask me why, because I've always wanted to be on the radio, and I don't test well, so school wasn't an option. It's a long story for a longer. As Craig Lagans, my partner on the wrestling podcast, would say, whole nother podcast, HNP. But right before COVID, actually,
I kind of hate that
HNP. Well, he does it on purpose.
I hate another.
Well, I know he's doing it sarcastically. He doesn't mean that, but that's why he's doing it. We're gonna try to trigger Matt with English language tonight. Okay, we'll figure something. I'm kidding. I know. Every time I spell something wrong, I'm like, oh, erase that quick before he sees it. Shit.
I leave it in there. I leave him in there.
No,
honestly, you've seen my texting. I hate texting anymore. I just leave them. I say they instead of that, and like THAY, and I'm just like.
That's what got me to jump out of the chair downstairs, because I got a text from you like, shit, podcast. Oh God.
Yeah.
Run upstairs.
I mean, I wasn't gonna throw you under the bus, but if you're inviting the bus to run over you, then that's
no, I was late because what time did you originally say to meet? 7:30? It was 7:51.
I said 7:30, and I was like, let's shoot for quarter up just so we can see if we have any issues.
So technically I was only 6 minutes late. But as soon as I got the text, I ran. I ran faster than I usually do for food, Matt. But I started well, let's not get hasty. But I do this because it's a hobby and I like doing it. I've learned how to the podcast. We've been doing podcasting since 2008 in one form or another. I can edit audio with my eyes closed right now. I've learned to produce, edit, and like actually put things into videos that I didn't know to do 3 years ago on my own with very minimum money spent.
Yeah. Well, when we were looking,
it's crazy.
What was the software you used? I can never remember it. The video editing software.
The video editing software I use is Wondershare, Filmora, and the audio. When I need to edit audio, it's Audacity. At this point, it's very little audio editing because I've gotten everybody like, I need you at least in this decibel range.
Okay.
And I don't have to touch it. I hit one button for the AI, which is the only good use that I've had for AI in the last year. No comment. Is removing the background noise when I need to. And the rest is I'll edit it live, for crying out loud. I will cut when needs to be cut and just trimming. I can edit an episode that we record. Craig and I went for an hour and 22 minutes. Took me 5 minutes to put it together and then hit render. It really did. Videos now, especially because I make them so short, because I am trying to get eyes on it. But again, I have no grand illusions.
Pete and I are in that same boat. I understand what you're talking about.
I've trimmed them down to 5 minutes, but it takes just as long to edit. It's the rendering part that takes longer because I refuse to. I'm an audiophile. I'm a videophile. Matt will tell you. We've tried watching movies. I can't. If the home theater system has a crackle, I will rewind through. I need to hear that part like it was supposed to be. I'm not uploading 720p. Fuck you. I want HD. Like,
well, you also worked on like restoring old. Is it
yes,
DVDs
I'm doing. It's not even DVDs.
Upscale.
I'm upscaling the Extreme Ghostbusters, which was the second cartoon series, well, technically third. Yeah, from the late 90s, I'm upscaling and correcting. It's a little more than upscaling. I'm kind of fixing the frame rate, and they're from TV rips. So there's static, there's weird cuts, there's commercial pausing, and I'm getting rid of all that. Now that I've said that, I'm pretty sure they're releasing it in 2 months, so I'm out of a job. They're releasing it on DVD. That show ran one season in syndication and had 40 episodes.
That's a lot.
So it has twice the episodes of a regular season run because it's also the reason why it failed is no network bought it. It just went right into syndication. Nothing aired in order, except for the 2-parters, and there's 2-parters, and the second one has Back in the Saddle, has the original guys coming back. Very well done. That show holds up. A lot of the original Real Ghostbusters holds up. There's the last 2 seasons in the 90s where it's Slimer in the Real Ghostbusters, where it's aimed towards younger kids, even younger than I was at the time.
Yeah, Slimer was that kind of chaotic
character. He comes back in Extreme Ghostbusters, but it's that generation that watched the first cartoon making that, so even Slimer's a bit grown up as well.
I only remember one bit of an episode from Extreme Ghostbusters, and that's when Slimer was turning into like a more evil version of Slimer at night or something like that.
That's actually a second time that's happened to him. No, I'm not correcting you. I'm saying it's happened to him twice.
I know.
Once in both series.
I'm more so saying like I'm not surprised that you know that.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, it's disgusting. Yeah. It's disgusting. Dude, Genesis, right? I have to tell you, because you are you're my best friend at this point. I don't have anybody else. Sorry. You get stuck with it. Kelly showed me, and Matt's impression of me is cheesesteaks, Phil Collins. I have to arrange this myself. Don't let anybody else touch it because I'm very OCD. It's a mental illness, and he thinks it's hilarious. I'm kidding. I think it's hilarious. There's not much footage of the band Genesis that Kelly and I have not seen, but there is this GIF of Phil eating a biscuit next to Sting, walking into a studio, and she had Sting, not the wrestler, the guy. I know. And she showed it to
Magic.
Yes, that one. And she showed it to me. She goes, "When is this from?" And I looked at his hair and I said, 1984. And then I looked at his jacket and I said, I bet you that's going in to record Band-Aids. Do they know it's Christmas? And wouldn't you know, if you look up the music video, he's wearing the same crap. That's how disgusting I am, Pete. I was like, yeah, 1984. I know what year it is by the length of his hair. It's disgusting.
That's strange.
It's disgusting.
So you've been podcasting since 2008 now. What keeps you going doing that?
I like doing it.
Okay.
The wrestling one, I've wanted to quit.
I know.
I won't go. I will not go into detail on here because I'm not making this a soapbox podcast. I want to have fun, but Pete, I don't know if you've ever watched wrestling in your life when you were younger or now or whatever. If you don't know, there's a lot of terrible people in wrestling, and I've kind of, I was in it. I found out some things, and I quickly escaped it, and it's even to the point where it's hard to be a fan right now. But doing the show with Craig kind of refreshed the podcast, so I still enjoy it. The moment it becomes unenjoyable, I'm out. But Craig and I have such a good time. That's why I do it. Nerd Herders, when it comes back, because it will eventually one day, with Damian and Foxy, who are two wrestlers. They got Foxy got back into the business, and she doesn't have the time anymore. There's also a couple things that happen on the personal end that they had to step back for a little bit. That's going to come back eventually. Foxy and I do a music podcast that will come back someday when she retires again. And their Stadium Journey, which is a travel log sports arena, like a sports venue podcast. The site's been around since mid 2000s. That if you can think of a venue, there's a legit review. The area around it, the food, parking, ticket prices, the atmosphere, everything is legitimately reviewed, and we expand upon that on the podcast.
I've seen it, like, because I'll usually go to your stream and lurk if I'm not watching actively. But I remember there are times where Paul talks about going to a small studio, or the other guy, I forget his name, but like he'll go out to another studio and And then is that the same one where you had like Colleen Coyne you guys recently had on, right?
Yes, that was the same podcast because the short version of the story is there was a women's professional hockey league that got I just read who's in the chat. That'll be you, Matt. There was a women's professional hockey league that ran for like 7 years that got bought by a conglomerate that was owned by Billie Jean King, immediately shut down, and a new league formed. And Paul used to be on the Boston Pride, which was the Boston team in that previous league. And she wasn't GM. She was president. I forgot her actual title, but Colleen Coyne, for those who don't know, was one of the 1998 Nagano Olympic Games gold medalists for Team USA in ice hockey. And she's been in hockey ever since. Someone like, I need Colleen Coyne here for her mind. She was a world-class athlete.
World-class athlete.
World-class athlete, yes. This world-class athlete.
Mike Tyson would say.
Mike Tyson. She's a world-class athlete. She's going to kick my ass. Yeah, with the tattoo. You guys ever hear Phil Collins in the air tonight?
I'm going to get killed.
Yeah, we're dead. Hi, Ash.
Hi, Ash. Thank you for coming in. Oh, man. So what would you consider some highlights throughout the time of doing this?
Colleen Coyne was an absolute highlight.
I know another one.
I was getting to that. There was a wrestler. See, I don't. If there's any wrestling fans watching this, I hope there is. Ash will know. I, on a hunch, was added on Facebook. This was 2012, like when the show first started. And people when we first started the wrestling podcast, people were listening. We were getting 15,000 listens a week. We were one of the few. It was right. It was like if it was on a ruler, it was an inch before the big boom of everybody doing a podcast. It was right there.
Time. Yeah.
And Tully Blanchard, who was a wrestler in the NWA in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, added me on Facebook. And for months, I was watching him going, that can't be Tully. There's no way this random dude is Tully Blanchard, former multiple time champion, former multiple type of champion in wrestling. And there's no way it's him. And then one day out of the blue, I said, this is how I knew it was Tully. I said, is this really Tully Blanchard? And his reply was, well, who did you want it to be? And I said, oh, okay. Hey, do you want to do an interview? This dude called us on his cell phone and did a 2.5-hour interview. And at one point, this is not a slight against, this was awesome. I know a lot of podcasters this day, I was kind of alluding to earlier, were like, I'm a podcaster. I'm like, you're not a journalist. Calm the hell down. He goes, hold on one second, guys.
Don't say fuck.
Oh, fuck. I can hear him pull up to a gas pump, put the card in, pull the gas pump out, put the gas pump into his car, and then finish answering the question. Hold on a second, 1 second, guys. Put the phone back on top of the car, pull the gas pump out, put it back on the machine, get back in his car and go and pick up exactly where he left off. He was driving to a gig and he was doing our interview. And it was an amazing interview. It was Tully. I remember calling him because even my partner at the time, Dean, the guy who also we co-founded the show together, Dean's like, let's call him and make sure when we get this number. And he answered the phone. You hear Tully's voice? And we say, okay, good. We'll call back at 8 and we won't even do an intro. We'll just right into it. We'll do the intro post, blah, blah, blah. He hangs up the phone. Dean goes, fuck, that was Tully Blanchard. It's like there he was. We've done a bunch of live shows.
Yeah, and I've seen ones where you've had other former wrestlers and I think
current wrestlers. Like, who does that? Big wrestlers, podcasts don't do that now, especially after COVID. It's like this. You're at your home, at my home. We do it like that. We talk about the current events. That's how Craig and I do it now. We were doing live shows at pre-shows in Delaware, Pennsylvania, Philly, South Jersey. We were getting involved. Dean was a manager at one point. One of those guys he managed is in the WWE on TV right now. Well, a bunch of them are on TV.
I wasn't trying to interrupt you, but someone's asking relevant questions down there.
Yes, I'm watching her. I'm trying not to take control. This is not my show.
Yeah, it's my stream.
It's my show. Well,
that one's in the kitchen.
That means I should interrupt you because that happens all the time on my
Hey. So okay, and I know of at least one other highlight. This spawned more from a website that you maintain.
Oh fuck, jeez. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, you gonna figure it out, bud?
There is a this is not having to do anything with wrestling. Let me start over. The morning show in Philadelphia that started on Y100, the alternative rock station that moved to WMMR in 2005. I say that because not a lot of morning shows have been around this long anymore. It's not like Howard Stern. The Howard Stern days of radio are over. These guys have been. Well, he's dead, thankfully. Am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say that on here?
No. If he's dead, you just say he's in the closet.
He's in the.
He went to a farm to live with the other radio people.
Yeah, he went to the farm and he's living out his days just chucking mics at each other. I did an interview on WMMR and Preston and Steve show in December of 2022.
Was it that long ago already?
It was just over a year. To say that was a dream fulfilled. I grew up listening. MMR is the second longest active rock station that is existing in this country. That's how old WMMR is. The other one is K-Rock in LA. Those are the two. And these guys have been on morning radio in Philadelphia. The only show to challenge and beat Howard Stern in the ratings when he was still syndicated in other cities was the Preston and Steve show. That's how big these guys are. And I've been running a site for them, not taking $1. I'm trying not to read Ash's comment.
I need to go walk the dogs.
I feel like that it was just last week that maybe I don't get the reference, Matt.
We're joking about you putting it on your Be Right Back when you're on when you're streaming.
Oh, that's because it's been playing the last couple of weeks because I had a bunch of videos that I wasn't using, so I erased them and have been slowly putting the intermission videos back on the hard drive. Yeah.
Gotcha. Plus, it's a good 10-minute video. If you need to walk
it's 12 minutes, so I can walk the dog and come back and not worry about it.
Take a nap. You need to make a sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to get one like that, Pete, or we could just end the stream and come back. I don't know.
Put a nice little music there.
Yeah. Just all you gotta do is have a curtain with the word intermission and play some cheesy ass music.
I need a curtain. I just have blinds.
I was gonna say you can use the blinds. Just change the filter to red and put the yellow letters across. Say intermission.
I'll just turn the blinds. There's a person standing there. Like that's why they're closed.
I don't know.
That was a great. I hope that freeze actually happened because it was you like this, Dan.
Yeah. Thanks. I like that you crossed your eye for my lazy eye too. I appreciate that. I'm sorry, Badass, that I have notoriety and you don't. I don't know what to tell you.
Anyway, that's not what we're doing on this stream.
Throw sand at me. I'm gonna throw sand back. I mean, no, it was amazing because Marissa texted me. I did this big overhaul on the site just because I wanted to. I run the site just because
you maintain a fan site. For those who don't know,
essentially, I have audio. I have audio of the show that hasn't been heard in 26 years on that site that I've searched or had recorded that I've uploaded, and I don't take a dime. I've met my wife because of Preston and Steve, so that's good. But they saw me. Somebody mentioned it in the meeting. Hey, he updated the site. Take a look at it. And the next day, Marissa was like, "You want to come on?" I was like, yeah, I've been listening to the station since I was in diapers. Let's go.
Yeah, and then like for those who don't know who Preston and Steve are, they've cameoed in "It's Always Sunny." That's my immediate reference. It's the
that is a national reference, though.
In all honesty, they're in a few episodes of "It's Always Sunny" when Mac wins the chance to go out on the ice and hit the slap shot. They're the two guys standing out there.
They're the DJs.
Like, what's this? This is the future of radio. Jabroni.
Cool word. That's Preston. Yeah. They're also on the episode where D plays a I don't really know how to.
What the hell?
How do I say that politically correctly?
What the hell is her character's name? No,
I can't remember.
Martina Martinez?
Yeah. She's doing the Martina Martinez shit.
She's in brownface.
And they walk up to this
like, newscaster or interviewer.
And they walk up to this construction site and they have Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles, John Runyon, who's like 6'7" or 6'8", and Preston and Steve sitting there. And she tries to prank them. And then Green Man, Charlie, runs up with a ball. And then John Runyon stands up over him. And then he looks at Dee and just chucks it in her face. And then they all laugh. And that's the other one they were in. And it's just because when the show started and nobody was doing interviews, they just got the writers on the show to interview them because they wrote a show in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And it's turned into this big, huge relationship where they've been on the show a bunch of times.
Yep.
Mac does a local charity because he legitimately grew up in Philadelphia and they support it every year. Like there's this real Philadelphia connection between those two parties that always pops up. It's crazy.
Sorry, I thought my phone went off. So we talked about it before, your video editing software, and then Audacity, which is a really good name for audio editing. I won't lie.
Yeah, that's freeware. Like anybody can use it, and it's really to learn the basics. It's great.
That's always good to know because I actually checked out Wondershare Filmora, and it's awesome. It's very intuitive, but I wasn't sure I wanted to spend the money on something without knowing for sure that's what we would continue to use.
Yeah.
And we actually, Shadow Moses has the Adobe Creative Cloud, and you actually did a recent edit on one of the reviews for Mezco's Dr. Doom figure using Premiere Pro, right?
Yes.
And I've used Premiere Pro before, and I thought that was also a really intuitive program.
It was okay. I thought Premiere Rush was a little bit more intuitive than the Pro. The Pro, there's a lot of like tools that they have in there that you have to dig for. I would like to see a kind of merge between the two. So like that Premiere Rush drag and drop features with like the Pro suites or the tool set behind it. That'd be awesome.
So, Ash, this is your first time in. Sorry to interrupt. Ash asked what this podcast is about. So this is the Shadowcast. It's Shadow Moses 112 podcast. Essentially, what we're here to talk about is toy news, 3D printing, our own, like, we kind of do shameless self promotion throughout, more so towards the end of episodes, to try and start conversations about, or even just continue and get involved in conversations about releases and stuff. And then this is actually the first episode that we have where we're bringing on a guest because we want to showcase other people in the community that either create content or they work on like creating their own like custom figures, if they work on backdrops or if they put out toy photography. Like D Amazing is one, Boog is another. I can't think of all. I know DC Holic is someone that I just started following on Instagram because he did like this really cool custom of Lex Luthor in the power suit. So this episode is kind of a deviation from what our normal format is, where we're like looking and kind of reaching out into the community to just kind of showcase some other people's work in a different forum than they normally use, maybe.
Right.
Sorry, Dan, continue what you were saying.
Experience. Right. Yeah. No.
Well, what I was saying, Ash, is
No,
basically
Dan.
it's basically them practicing for real guests. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, it seems like the same people have the bigger platform, so you always hear the voice of the person with the most following. And I noticed a lot of us little guys are trying to get out there and say what we have to say, but we're also content creators, collectors, and all that stuff. So instead of working against each other, what the community thing that we're trying to do here is bring people on board, so that way we can kind of share the light with everybody and bring people together to kind of like collaborate, share ideas, talk about their experiences, and hopefully help somebody else who might be getting into the game or has been in it into a while and hasn't made the same dent, kind of push themselves a little bit further.
It doesn't type the way that I want it to. Sorry. I meant to say hi, Montauk, but typing and backspacing didn't work correctly.
Oh, I know that guy.
Do you?
Yeah, well, they've been in the stream a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's no, that was it. I just say, hey, I know that guy.
So
forget congrats on being the first guest, Dan, first person to say, yeah, you'll never get on a podcast.
It's hard to say I'm sorry comment was more of a reference to Chicago. Like, it's all just music stuff that we normally talk about on Dan's stream right now.
Feels just like I'm at home.
So you use OBS, right?
Yes. Yeah, I use OBS.
And then we just didn't really care for it. And StreamYard has actually been really good. Like, we're probably going to eventually upgrade StreamYard because it seems really easy and intuitive. I
figured out OBS out of spite because OBS is a pain in the ass. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was ready to virtually chuck it out a window, and I was like, "No, fuck, bullshit. I'm figuring this out just because." And to this point, like a couple months ago, I kind of wiped it and started over, and it was just easy. It's that's how I can go. I can go back to school if I do it at my own speed, but we're not allowed to do that. I didn't have a follow up. I was just.
I was about to say, I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Well, you have to follow a structure and a schedule and then a marking period. Isn't that how school works?
I didn't go to school. I learned on the street.
Oh, that explains a lot. The streets, the mean streets of the
Poconos.
Are we allowed to mention that? Oh,
I mean, I don't live there anymore, so yeah.
Yeah, the main street of the Poconos.
I haven't been there so long. Apparently, there's PF Chang's or something there.
Where the hell did they fit that?
I don't know. It's probably still legal to kill Native Americans if they're in Mount Pocono, though.
Yeah, well, I've been to Fernwood once or 3 times.
You've been what?
To the Fernwood. It's the only point of reference I know in the Poconos. Well, that and Jack Frost Mountain.
Yeah, I worked at Jack Frost.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Worked at the ski place.
Yeah, I just can't imagine you working there.
God.
I just can't picture you working there. You and I
gave
barely
out
worked at
boots.
that toy
I
store.
gave out boots, and then I set skis up so people wouldn't die. I saved lives.
I was thinking about this the other day. We were talking about True. Are we allowed to mention our former employer as well, or do you want to keep that on the down low?
I don't care.
No, I'm talking to Matt.
It's more up. For
I don't
Toys
give
R
a
Us,
shit.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, Toys R Us. Yeah, I don't
they
give a
went
shit.
out of business, and I'm still alive, so I don't care. Fuckers.
Fucking prick.
We don't do personal attacks, despite how funny that may be, though.
Oh, I was just gonna say, don't leave your baby at home. So I think it would be. I think every night, whoever we worked with, they were putting bets on who they would hear at the under end of the store screaming and smashing something. Would it be you or me? Depending on what night it was mostly me. But every now and then, I'd be with them saying, "Uh-oh," and then you just hear, "Fucking God damn it!" It's just that place was just. I remember having a conversation before that place shut down, talking about this is not going to be open much longer. And that one older manager, who I didn't really have a problem with, except for, that 2 or 3 times, was like, "No, it's not." I'm like, "Are you reading the news? They are going to hook you over and everybody else." And they did. But hey, they're still open in Canada. Yay.
And in Macy's. Yeah.
Lionel Kitty City was better.
You say Lionel Kitty City?
Kitty City was a toy store. Probably even before you were born. I'm pretty sure it was closed before you were born.
My mind went to Lionel Richie, which is also like kind of
also awesome. But it's awesome. Also from Philadelphia.
I mean, I would be dancing on the ceiling, but I can't dance.
Say you, say me.
So, where do you see taking your craft in the future? Or what are your hopes for the future? I miss KB Toys.
KB Toys was awesome.
KB Toys was great.
Somehow I had a better time at KB Toys, which was technically a smaller store inside of malls, than I ever did at Toys R Us. Well, even when I was at Toys R Us was too damn big.
It's kind of like when Toys R Us was making the smaller modular type of arrangement. Like they focused specifically on having stuff that sold. And back in the 90s, toys actually sold. So there's a huge difference. And
slightly.
Yeah,
it's not the same.
Yeah, no, it's huge. Like, I mean, even looking at like cinema and everything's changed. Everything's turned into like this formulaic need to create revenue and profit where we don't take risks anymore. I actually sent you a video that you didn't watch because you're a son of a bitch the other day.
I was sleeping most of the day.
No, you're fine. I'm kidding.
I was gonna say, which son of a bitch?
What?
Both of us.
I was gonna say, which asshole did you send it to?
The yes is
no, I sent it to
it's
Dan.
both of us, Pete. Yeah.
So I sent it to Dan more so because it was George Lucas and Josh Robert Thompson does George Lucas impressions. But George Lucas was making a great point about how essentially studios just want their money. And like it used to be that directors and writers and staff and the people behind creating movies could actually have an artistic vision, go out and explore that and have that creative freedom. But now everything has to be put into this strict, exactly. Everything comes down to that bottom line. And then you get movies that are complete, that are done and completed, but they'll never be released because
don't even get me started. That's not even nice. I will stand on 13 soapbox and tell Warner Brothers to suck my entire.
I figured it was relevant to bring up that because Ash is in the chat.
Well, I was gonna bring up. Actually, I was gonna go the other way with it, but now you mention it. Fuck Warner Brothers. Fuck you and fuck your DC universe. And James Gunn, not fuck you, but I'm sorry you're involved with those pricks. Fuck that fucking series. I ain't watching shit until I see Batgirl. I'm deadly serious. I still haven't seen The Flash. I don't care if it was the greatest movie ever. I don't care if it was the worst CGI cobbling together since the 80s. I ain't going to fucking see that movie until Zaslav fries his balls on top of a spit somewhere in the middle of the fucking desert. Fuck you. Sorry.
What about that Snyderverse, though?
I I don't care. Martha's their mother's name. You can make fun of them all they want. They lost their mothers. Fuck you. What I was actually going to bring up with Ash in the chat is I was going to use Star Wars as an example. All these, I'm trying not to bring politics into this, so I'm going to try not to get on a thing. I'm going to try to be serious here. There are a certain sect of people. You and I, the three of us, could argue about Star Wars movies and debate what was good, what was bad, and not bring politics into it ever. Well, I guess not Matt, because I don't think he's seen one of them.
Not one of what?
Star Wars movie.
Yeah. I've seen them all.
Oh, you just don't care.
I haven't seen Han Solo or Solo.
Oh. I saw Solo,
which is a fitting name for a standalone movie.
Yeah. Vroom vroom. But you have a certain, and fuck it, you have the extreme right that are, you can't make it for everyone. Stop making it inclusive. Disney's woke. And my point is, I have two sides of this point. A, they're not making it inclusive. They're just including other characters. And just because it's not the same characters, you're upset. Number one. Number two, they're actually, what's his name that's running it? It's like the Kevin Feige of Star Wars now, and I can't ever remember his name.
Oh, Paul Feige.
With the hat. God damn it.
It's Filoni.
Filoni. Dave Filoni. Yeah.
Dave Peter Stormare.
Just shut up. Filoni is pulling in things from different areas and applying it to the canon now. Which, if you're not fucking excited about that, you're just a miserable prick. You haven't seen any minute of this movie yet. Calm down. Number three, my most important point with people that are just yelling hateful, spiteful, disgusting shit at women and gay and lesbian, trans people who want to just watch Star Wars is it's about toys. All they want to do is sell toys. The reason why they want to drag everybody into it is so they can sell more toys. So shut the fuck up and let people like Rey Skywalker, you fucking asshole. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but Skywalker was such a...
Rey Palpatine?
She's Rey Palpatine, yes. But my point is, as
Rey
my voice
Palpatine?
cracks, Rey Palpatine. but we're arguing a giant corporation founded by a borderline Nazi fuck named Walt Disney. Am I wrong? Pete's agreeing.
No,
I saw Pete nod. I'm like,
no, I was like, yeah,
that's Walt Disney. Start there and work your way forward. Star Wars, I will quote the man himself, which someone tried to co-opt to say it's for 12-year-old boys. That's not what George Lucas said. George Lucas said Star Wars is for 12-year-olds. Shut up and worry about adult things.
I mean, like, even if you look at Princess Leia, like, she still does some badass shit. Like, she's still there with the blaster and fighting alongside them.
Making out with her brother, yeah.
She's just she's not just sitting there like a loser. She kills Jabba the Hutt.
She chokes the shit out of him, barely wearing anything. Because that's not awesome. I don't know what is. I know people don't like The Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker, but when she dies, spoiler alert, fuckers, and she uses the Force, fuck you. I thought that was great. It was kind of we're not arguing if it was shoehorned in, because that's a whole 4 hours of another podcast we could do. But I was still like, Leia's still badass. Fuck you. Like, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what anybody likes anymore. People say the Ahsoka series is terrible. I'm like, what did you want from?
Actually, it's funny you mention that, because there's a comedian, I forget his last name, but his first name is Troy, and he's
Troy Bond. I just shared the video.
Where he's talking about Ahsoka, and he's he's a huge fucking nerd, and like people will call him out when he's doing a stand-up acts, and he's like, "No, this is the black symbiote suit from the Secret Wars." And then,
this is Spider-Man's black suit, jerk off. It's not. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's not Venom. Venom was created in the 90s by Todd McFarlane.
And he'll throw the name out there and he goes nuts. Yeah. The guy's a legit fucking nerd.
Going back to Ahsoka, like Ahsoka follows her from the Clone Wars series, which I never watched, but I know is like a huge show, like for Star Wars fans. It's probably one of the biggest things that Star Wars has, honestly, is the Clone Wars TV show, which was like, looks like it's for kids, but it really is much more than that. It's not just like it's not like watching Extreme Ghostbusters and like thinking that it's some real.
What the fuck? Fuck you. Jesus. No, but when he put it, and I didn't hate it anyway, but the way he put it in perspective and explained shit to me that I don't even know, I was like, oh, that's fucking fantastic. Ash, we've mentioned Ash. Ash knows more about Star Wars than I've forgotten.
Yeah, I'm not.
No, or the other way around. She has forgotten more about Star Wars than I'll ever know. And I used to be a member of the fan club. And I used to be a member of the fan club when you had to mail it in. There was a point in time when I was a kid where if you wanted to be in the Star Wars fan club and get the magazine, you had to donate to the fan club, and it would buy your subscription. You couldn't walk into a store and buy Star Wars fan magazine. You had to buy into it.
I was going to segue into an inappropriate reference, but I'm just going to.
Thank you for not.
It was going to be about Blue Mountain State, but we're not going to go down there. Although I will say I do love seeing Blue Mountain State clips with Alan Richardson as Thad, because Reacher is so popular, and Thad Castle is like the antithesis of Reacher.
That reminded me, because Ash in the chat just said Dan out there catching strays from her battles, I guess. But even this morning, somebody was replying to a mutual friend of ours about Star Wars and went on this huge rant about how inclusive is bad and stop watering it down. I barely read it because it was really tired and old, but he tried to tell me that I was intolerant, and I guess being from Philadelphia, I didn't learn how to read. And unfortunately, he's from Johannesburg, South of Africa. And if anybody knows about intolerance and hate, it would be South Africa.
What are you talking about with Elon Musk's grandfather and dad?
He has not responded since.
Oh, man. I'm just going to say that when you move out of Canada to go to South Africa because it's too confining and restrictive in Canada, you're definitely looking for a specific way of life.
Is that what he did? Ooh. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's what not Elon Musk. He's a byproduct of the insanity of his father and grandfather.
Yeah, the more that I hear, the more I just hate him.
Oh yeah, it's easy too. That was that question was like, where do you want the future of your craft to go?
Oh, I want people to actually hear me and know that I exist. But if they don't, it's cool too. I just like doing it. I would like, honestly, I would like less people liking shitty people and more people liking not shitty people. Sometimes I will watch other streams and see the way someone talks to other people, and I'm like, why are they giving you money? You're kind of a piece of shit.
Sometimes I go to other people's streams and they'll be playing Days Gone and they'll be complaining about it, and I just hate them, so I don't follow them.
Well, Fortnite's the greatest game ever. Nobody ever complains about that on stream.
No.
Nope.
When you streaming Lego Fortnite, bud?
I will never stream Lego Fortnite. If you held a gun to the end of my penis and shot it off, I would never play Lego Fortnite.
Wow.
And you can blame Kate.
It's a messy hot dog.
It is a messy hot dog.
That's not even a glizzy at that point.
If you don't name the episode that was a messy hot dog, I'm gonna be very, very disappointed.
Like people guess. We're not going to be calling it that.
No, I forget.
We have a strict format for the names.
Yeah, I bet you do.
And then the first line of the description is always something weird. Like today, it's "I ain't afraid of no ghosts" because it's relevant. But I've done other things in the past that just make me laugh.
So when are they? When that's I titled the last wrestling episode "Cancers of Yesteryear" because one of the wrestlers said that, and I'm like, well, that's actually pretty funny. I'm going to use that. You know, that's a hardcore reference, especially with me right now. Not me. I'm fine. Well, I'm not dying.
Calm down, Gerard Way.
When I was.
Well, I meant I'm not okay. I promise.
So you were talking about earlier about how there's a lot of bad people in wrestling, and you didn't know if I watched it or not. I actually don't watch wrestling, but I'm a fan of like the highlights of it. Like Stone Cold attacking Booker T in the middle of a grocery store was freaking hilarious. Or Booker T letting the N-word slip talking about Hulk Hogan. But my favorite part of wrestling is
I was watching that live as a child, dude. I watched that live as a child. That's 94. I'm 11. And I'll never, every time it comes up on a highlight reel, I'm like, I could see the room where I'm in, where my aunt is watching with me, and he throws that out, and I just look over at her going, what's good about that is if you don't know, Booker T and Stevie Ray were a tag team in the early 90s into the 2000s, and behind them is Sensational Sherry, which she went up through wrestling and then became a manager later in her career. She's one of the legends of the business. What you don't really know unless you watch her is after he lets that slip, you see him start to put his hands up to his face and then put them down again so he can still act badass. And you just see her smile and go, "It's too late, baby. Just look at the camera. It's over." That was live. There is no edit of that. That went out. Sorry. Go ahead, Pete.
No, not at all. I was just going to talk about how you were talking about there's bad people in wrestling, and that's my favorite part about wrestling.
No.
That dark.
He doesn't mean
no.
Heels. He means like evil people that happen to be wrestlers.
Yeah,
the short version.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
No, Pete. What I mean is there are people in wrestling. Here's the short version, so I don't get on a soapbox. I have a friend who was in wrestling, and her ex-husband used to beat the holy shit out of her in real life because he's a terrible garbage person. And he did it in and out of the locker room, and nobody said anything about it, and he's still allowed to be in wrestling. Hulk Hogan was a rat who got Jesse Ventura fired because he ratted Vince he was going to form a union for wrestlers and actually get them health insurance and get them paid.
He also I'm trying to use this as a segue to Iron Claw. Sorry about that.
Oh,
this whole thing was supposed to be a segue to Iron Claw.
Oh, I fucked it up. I walked all over him. It shrouded right all over him. Yeah, never mind.
What about the Iron Sheik?
I've heard not so great things about him, but I guess he's funny.
Well, there was an episode of with Kenny versus Spenny, which is a callback, and he's on that, and he's just abysmal on that episode.
When he died, I remember Ash being in the chat going, "Wait, he's a piece of shit," and there was stuff I didn't even know. When I was like, "Oh, so he doesn't know the meaning of the word no either." That's interesting. That's happens a lot in wrestling, Pete. There's actually a lot of apparently there's a lot of I know you'd be surprised with a business where people touch each other all the time, but there's a lot of sexual assaulters in wrestling. Yeah.
No, I was just watching one the other day about the like a wrestler. This was maybe back in the 80s or 90s where he got murdered in Puerto Rico, I want to say.
Bruiser Brody.
There you go. That's it.
Mm-hmm. He was a difficult man to. Wait, if you want to pick my encyclopedic words, anyway. Bruiser Brody was a difficult person to work with. He was also, and I'll argue that wrestling needs more of that. So if a promoter fucks you over, like this was kind of going to become, he'll just beat your ass. Like, no, you're not taking my money. I worked the show. Give me my money. If another worker tried to screw him over, the man was so big you really couldn't fight him for real. He'd fight you. So the only way to take out Bruiser, that's just the extremely extreme short version. There's so much nuance into this, but it was carried out like a hit. You saw the episode. Right. It was carried out like a hit. He went into the showers in the stadium of Puerto Rico. Carlos Colon sent a guy in there to gut him in the shower and let him die on the shower floor because they couldn't get him. If he got to an ambulance and to medical attention, he probably would have lived. but that was the whole point, to not let him get out of there, and he died there on the floor of the shower.
There are good people in wrestling too, though. Who is that one heel? Who is that one heel? The Russian.
I think he froze. Somebody froze. Is it me?
No, we're good. Everybody's okay here. It's not working.
Me, definitely. Lagging.
I'm gonna start moving like one of the skulls from the Phantom Pain.
God, don't even mention that game, please.
No, he was a heel. It was like the Russian or something. I forget his name. Damn it! But he was awesome.
You're gonna have to narrow that down for me. I don't mean that sarcastically.
I know.
The Iron Claw. That movie is based on a true story about the Von Erich family, which their actual last name is Atkinson, where 6 sons were born and they all died except one.
Yeah.
The one kid died electrocuted in a puddle when he was 2. David Von Erich died in Japan on a tour of Japan when he was a wrestler. Kerry Von Erich. Kerry Von Erich shot himself in the heart. Mike Von Erich took some sleeping pills and took a jump into a lake. Chris Von Erich, I think, took some sleeping pills. And there's Kevin, who's still alive. Wrestling was terrible to that family. Who was the wrestler, Matt?
Sputnik Monroe.
Sputnik! Yes, Sputnik Monroe! Yes.
Yeah.
He was charged with public mopery.
Yes.
Because he was a white wrestler who was associating with African Americans. And he didn't care, and the bartender wasn't throwing his ass out because these are there used to be in the day where wrestlers were actually not that these people aren't athletes now, because most of them I couldn't keep up with half of them walking down the aisle.
When it was more like that documentary with Mickey Rooney, the wrestler.
It's Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rooney was in Breakfast at Tiffany's, but we don't talk about that either.
Was that the wrong person?
Yeah, it's Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rooney is in Mickey Rooney's
brothers. I get them mixed up.
Not at all. That is an entirely different family. But yeah, he got sent to court because he was in a black bar at night, and he was charged with public mopery, and his whole idea was to bring wrestling to African Americans by having African Americans work for his company.
And he would go up into, because they were segregated, he would go up into their
which
sections,
is why it used to be called the Crow's Nest.
Yeah, I was gonna try and avoid that.
No, listen, my black friend.
No.
I'm joking.
My black friend, Jesus
Craig
Christ.
Lagan. By the way, if you tell Craig Lagans he's black, he doesn't know. That's a joke he does all the time, Matt.
You got me.
No, well, Craig is the one that taught me about the Crow's Nest part, and I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
It was during that same episode when we talked about the public mopery. I never made the connection, and I was like, oh, of course, there's always a bad connotation to everything we've named in this.
Everything.
God damn it.
So, before we keep going into tangents about wrestling and everything like that, I want to kind of go back to one of the first things we talked about is how do you manage to not be a hoarder?
I have a wife that's 6 feet tall.
That's true. Kelly is tall. And you're like 4'7", right?
No, I'm 5'6", you douchebag.
All right, so step one's tall wife, right?
Tall wife.
Okay.
So Layla needs some stilts then.
Right.
Fear of said wife.
Fear.
Damn.
Okay.
Step 1, step 2.
All right.
So I need to get married then.
Or you just have to have somebody in a relationship that will say, do you really, really need that? Let me rephrase that. You don't need that. I know. I mean, I know.
I could be really convincing.
Yeah, no.
But it lights up.
It's actually what it really is my bank account. It's just like, do you really need that?
The real answer is I don't want debt.
Yeah.
Well, I got
Zero
this
debt
checking.
is the
It
answer.
takes 3 days to get into the savings, and we got moving.
Yeah, no. I'm not allowed to play that game. When we started dating, I handed her my money and I said, "You're in charge. I don't want any part of this."
I mean, yeah. So, but like, being that you are in so many fandoms, like, how do you kind of decide which you want to pursue and collect, and versus what do you not? Like, because I know you love like mob movies, and like, because you were just talking to us, you were in our chat, you were talking about Legend with
Tom
Tom
Hardy.
Hardy.
Yeah.
And then I know that you love Goodfellas, The Irishman, even though it's 18 years long.
19 and a half.
Okay, I tried. But and then like I know that you're huge into The Godfather, and you're playing the Mafia series again,
I
and
love
you,
that
you
series.
love The Sopranos.
Yeah.
How do you not like go down those like Funko Pop rabbit holes?
Space. I simple Legend with Tom Cruise. No, different Legend. You mean Legend starring Tim Curry? Really, I keep a simple rule. If I don't have space for it, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to move into a house with one extra room, because you put stuff in there and I don't need to walk through there. You just walk into it and go, look at all that shit. That's cool.
That's kind of essentially what I would like to try, or that room is a basement and it's all mine.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, it's those two rules, the wife and space. Like with the Ghostbuster stuff, right before I remembered there was a podcast and I ran upstairs, I opened up the box I got from Entertainment Earth that had the
Oh, do you have them with you?
They're downstairs. I didn't have a chance to put them out yet because I don't know where I'm putting them yet. But
well, it's the Funko Pops from
the new Frozen Empire, and it has it's got the villain name. I don't know what it is, but it looks badass. There's
Garaka.
No, but I was saying there's a ghost named Pukey. I don't know what that is.
Oh, yeah.
And I have which goes to your question, picking and choosing as well. Since I have some of those characters from the first line from Afterlife, I got an updated Phoebe, and I got Gruberson as a Ghostbuster. Spoiler alert. And Ray that's holding this orb. Whatever orb that Ray is holding, that I'm sure is essential to this story. I had that too. So
yeah.
The same thing with the Fright figures above me, right above my finger, is the 6-inch figures from the last movie. So I just got Callie and pre-ordered Gruberson. So I have one of each because I just don't have the room for all of them. Case in point, I have those original reissues of the real Ghostbusters figures. I'm afraid to hang them.
Yeah, because I was helping you find them.
You found them for me, and I was afraid to hang them because I don't want to scratch up the purple boxing, because there's very few toy boxes that are cooler than that old purple. That was the thing about those toys when I was a kid, is they were so eye-catching because nothing else was this bright purple.
Okay.
All of the packaging was dark blue or bright or this dark purple.
I was gonna say the closest thing would probably be like X-Men 97, but that was more of a dark blue.
Yeah.
I don't even know if the packaging had that design to really look like it. I don't remember.
And I have it there in a shelf because I have nowhere to put them. I'm afraid to. I'm not. Those are ones where I really wanted to open. I'm like, I'm afraid to open these. I don't want to open these. Because I'll open a pop. I don't care. Speaking of which, I got Tony Soprano down there, but I don't feel like collecting the rest because I don't know where to put him.
Is he eating gabagool?
No, unfortunately, he's just standing there like this. He's just standing there like this, breathing heavy.
Hey, I'm stoic.
Hey, Paulie, come here. It's all in the nose. You just gotta, hey, Paulie, come here.
I don't even know what to say to that.
You don't have to.
So yeah, but those just came out. And then they're
coming out on time too.
They're
not coming out a year and a half before the movie.
Then they have that new figure line that actually looks more classically styled.
Yeah, the Fright figures is what they're also re-releasing the second wave of the real Ghostbusters figures, which unfortunately I've decided I don't have room for. I don't need them. which is the old Fright figures, where when you hold their arm down, their face changes and they have an expression of frightened. And it's coming in the original packaging with a ghost. I just can't justify it.
Yeah, I understand.
I think I think I'm gonna get one more Ecto one. I need one more Ecto one because I only have 18 of them, Pete. And
10 DeLoreans.
Yes, yeah, and the DeLoreans. I have a little bit less, but I have 6 Batmobiles lying around somewhere. And about 30 monster trucks.
For some reason, I randomly do collect like those one. What's called? Jesus Christ. Like those Jada toys.
Yeah.
Like I picked this up the other day.
Yeah, see,
really awesome.
I just can't do that. If I did that, why? Why do you need what's the point? You don't even I don't know. I just thought it was cool. Jada Toys is okay. They're
not bad.
I'm waiting for I have a Polar Lights. So that came out in 2004 or 5 Ecto 1 diecast Ecto 1 that's like hardcore fully detailed warning labels on everything that are authentic to the original car. You can see the original engine under the hood. The back door opens, the side you can pull out the cart for the proton packs.
That's really detailed.
It's been moved to 3 houses, so it's not doing so hot. So the next one I want to get is I want something to replace that. So I just want one more upscale version that's not $1,500.
That's I was about to say, like the Blitzway is beautiful. But what do you do with it? It's 3.5 feet long.
3 feet long. Where do I fucking put? I mean, I'll put it in the garage.
And Dan, it's $1,800.
Oh, excuse me.
Like it's
Can
it's
I
a
all the
so Pete, it's a 1/6 scale Ecto 1. And it's
you know what got me? You know what sold me on it? The light bar works like a legit white light bar.
It didn't sell you on it because you're not getting it.
Well, I mean, it sold me on. No, that's not true. I had every intention. I walked up to Kelly and I said,
she goes, "Excuse me."
She goes, "Where are you buying this?" And I said, "Under the drum set." It would fit right under the.
It's so big.
Snare and hi-hat.
I'm getting the Hot Toys DeLorean, and even that, I'm just like, where the hell am I putting that thing? It's gonna be so big. But I already have a Marty McFly, and I'm like, this is the one that I can do because like
my god,
what?
It's so much money.
It's less than half of the fucking Ecto 1.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's so cool looking. I can't wait. I'm not getting the other one though, because they just announced the one from Back to the Future 3. I'm not getting that one. I'm getting the one that switches between 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, all right. So they have the full set for $2,200. That's fine. Wow, that's pretty. Okay.
Ash, they actually make like the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon in that scale for Hot Toys.
In 1/6 scale or
in 1/6 scale, I believe. I don't know. I'd have to look. But
$804.
Speaking of vehicles, I would like to segue into more topical of normal thing we talk about when we speak of words that come about when we try to articulate.
That's what it's like to be me every day, by the way.
So goodbye,
drop
Dan.
that Valaverse.
Do you want to be involved in the Valaverse conversation, Dan?
I have nothing to add to this.
Nothing.
Well, I don't even know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
So you saw the His Tank video that I put out, the review of the
yes, which was awesome.
Crowdfunded His Tank. And let me preface this by saying that thing is 19 inches long. So Bobby Valla has his own line in kind of rivalry with Hasbro. He used to work for them. And the Valaverse now has their vehicle, and it's available for pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store. It is $184. I'm pulling up the window so that we can all see it. Which one is it?
Oh, he's the one that does that Action Force stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it's the Action Force Vanguard Stealth Gray version. This is the one. There's another one that's like tan or something like that.
Whoa.
So yeah, that's it. This thing is about 20 inches long. So one, it's already as big or bigger than the Hiss tank, which is a tank. It's $185. A lot of people, it's kind of weird because I was watching the video of when he does the reveal of this, and he has the different price points, and he said like $300. And people are like, I don't know if it was audio that was like put in after or anything like that. And then he's just like, no, what about $250? No, okay. What about 171? Like he says, 175 to 190 as the final price range for it. And then there's like all this cheering noise. And this is the vehicle.
Wow.
And we only get so many pictures of it. It doesn't look bad. It definitely, I mean, it fits the description of what it is because it's what is the stealth gray. So it's kind of meant to be more. I didn't mean to do that.
No. Watch a man crumble. Watch a man crumble live.
I'm not even logged in on this, but it's meant to be, I guess, kind of a low profile, kind of a Range Rover, I guess. My one friend who's more in tune with G.I. Joes and like that whole thing, and even the Valaverse side of things, was saying that it's kind of supposed to be some form of prototype vehicle that is being worked on. I don't know. I didn't even look into that in all honesty. It doesn't look bad. I will say that. It definitely suits the need of being that multi-purpose military vehicle, kind of ominous business look, and it has some nice features, yes, and it fits 4 figures in it, and then you can fit a guy in the back. It looks like it might be a little tight, which I guess is realistic because, like,
I love the student driver sticker.
yeah, I thought that was kind of funny, but like it doesn't look bad. I do think that this whole hinge contraption down here looks a little funky. I have my own thoughts on that.
I have a question.
Yeah,
It's a legitimate question.
Sure.
You guys are smarter than me on this kind of thing. Is that worth $150? Like, how much is he making it for?
that's kind of why I'm bringing it up, bud.
Okay, that's what I thought, because I'm like, one of the things that has been aggravating me and mind you, I love that proton pack. I love it, but did it need to be 500 fucking? Come on.
So
I don't yeah, I don't understand where they're pulling these prices for, and it seemed to get worse in the last like 10 years, maybe even 15 years, where, and I know, inflation went up, but like,
well,
like you're pricing fans out of a lot of things.
So I will say that I think part of the cost is going to come in because this is a smaller studio. This isn't Hasbro.
Right.
And this is
Sure.
their first vehicle. So this is their first attempt launching something like this. And I think that is kind of important to keep in mind. Yeah, and then it has stickers, which is, well, the Hiss tank had stickers too, but I don't know.
Wait. The special features, this has stickers, guys. Hold on.
But like,
Says student driver, guys, come on.
It's a student driver, chill out.
Honestly, like, is this thing worth $185 though? I don't see it. And I know that. What, Pete?
What?
I thought you were going to say something. It looked like you.
Oh, I'm already going to say something.
What do you want to say?
I'm going to say the Mattel cars, the Wrecking series by the WWE, consistently under sub $50. They have done a semi truck, they've done an ambulance, they've done a sports car, our little ATVs. Hasbro themselves has released a full size boat for Fortnite for under $50. What else I got? McFarlane released the '89 Batmobile.
Or every one of the McFarlane motorcycles that's been released has been a $20 price point, right?
Now I do understand this is a bigger figure, a bigger car, more features. 180 for a smaller
It
studio.
Looks like a $20 car, though. That doesn't look like $185.
Ash said it's worth 30. But I mean, to my point, and like kind of what you're saying, what kind of quality are we getting? Does the hood open? What is there even an interior designed? Like, do the chairs have any kind of texture on them? I know these are things that don't really matter, but like you have to start looking at that level of detail if you're going to charge this much money for it. Because I'll bring it up in a moment. There are other things that have more detail visible in the release pictures for the pre-order than what this has, because this has 10 pictures. We don't see any of the interior. We don't see if the underneath is like a bland chassis like this, or if it actually has all the different little pieces and stuff that's underneath a vehicle. My friend said that the scale looks kind of out of whack. Like the tires look huge. I don't know. I don't necessarily think
back
that
looks odd. Yeah.
My problem is it looks just like a G.I. Joe plastic toy that might be $30, like Ash said. So why is it 180? Like, it's detailed. It's not that detailed. It's not that much.
And that's also like there's a lot of blank space on this thing. And okay, maybe it's supposed to be more of a low key type, like if you have a Range Rover deployed in the field or something, like just for example. But why does the price not reflect that? And what is the quality of the plastic here? Because while the Mattel vehicles are cheaper, yes, they are definitely a flimsier plastic than like the Hiss tank, which was $350 and is durable as hell. Like that thing is solid, and it has all these different interior designs. The texturing, I wonder if I could see in here. Like it has different textures for different areas of the vehicle. Like this is just, look at the inside of this. It's just an empty shell.
Kind of like my soul.
Yeah. Like this has some little texture in there, but it's not.
It's like the car I just totaled.
This one is Action Force Honor Student. But like it's
no, I don't. That's not $185. That there's no. If I was a parent and my kid was like, I want that. There you go, Ash. It's not a Batmobile Ecto 1. It's just a generic Jeep.
You're not paying any. There's no licensing fee on this because it's your own damn thing.
If it's $180, that better like pleasure me. Also,
you don't buy.
I demand. I don't know. I get a lot of pleasure out of that proton pack, but that's for another discussion.
So I want to pair that.
Suck the demons out.
What?
Yeah.
Then we have
actual demons.
Then we have the Vamp from Hasbro. This is the G.I. Joe.
Looks better.
This is $80. This is $100. It has light up features. I don't know if this winch actually works, but we already see more detailing in the overall vehicle itself. The tires, if I want to say something negative, the tires also look about as cheap as the other one because it's not really a wheel well type of thing. Yeah, I have two Vamps pre-ordered. I'll just say it because I think that they look a lot of fun. There's so much more texturing in it. We have a lot more detail and just different parts that kind of come together for this whole package. We also have interior shots, and then it has more details and features. It has a functioning winch. There's more little add-ons. Wait, was that it? Shoot. We have this whole interior that's designed, and I get that because the other one's an enclosed vehicle that there's only so much need for it, it's still nice to have that option. And that's something that I always like kind of go into when I'm looking at how I'm designing something, particularly vehicles or whatever. Is like I like having the option to be able to look at this so that because one of the things I love about collecting is when I start looking into things and I'm like, oh my God, there's actually a little bullet painted on the end of that magazine. And it's for a 6-inch action figure. I think details like that are huge and really help make a product special. And I don't see any of that with the Valicle, as I'm calling it. They both do come with a pilot, but like or a driver, a pilot. But I mean, I don't understand, and I really don't like that. I'm probably going to have to buy the Vala vehicle just so I can put up or shut up. Maybe I'll wait till it goes on clearance. But the last vehicle I want to bring up is Mezco's big reveal. And this kind of goes back to what Pete was saying last week, I think it was, when you were saying that this is going to be the year for vehicles. And I think that you're right. The Vanguard is the off-brand you get from Family Dollar. So this is, we only get one picture of it because it's still just an early announce, but this is what Mezco will be eventually putting out, probably in 2033. But
that looks awesome.
I think this looks great. I can't wait to see all that it really features. I'm hoping that they go full, that they lean into it. I hope that it has removable doors, kind of like a vehicle would in deployment like that. I hope that it has a lot of customization options. Like I like the armored plating over the windshield, but I would also like to be able to remove that. And I know that this is going to have more light up features than just the headlights. I think that's an interesting. Curious why you're not a fan of Mezco in general. But I feel like this will have interior lighting as well, and I think that this is definitely going to be your high dollar. This will probably be like $250, $300.
Jeez. That still doesn't look good enough to be $250, $300.
This is the only. So these, for perspective, Dan, GI Joes are like $25, unless McFarlane's little insane maneuver actually takes off and they start overpricing other figures and lines. Yeah. But GI Joes typically are about $25. The Vala figures are. It depends what you're getting. If you're getting just this is $20. If you're getting one of their like named character figures, they're more like $30, I think, maybe $35. I forget exactly, but I know they're more than $20. Mezco, if you're in the opinion they're overpriced, that's fair because people have been making that comment increasingly as their prices do slowly go up. And Mezco is typically starts at $80, we'll say, but it's a higher end figure, and that's really like where I'm at because I don't really buy like Marvel Legends or anything like that. I typically buy the higher end figures, so I buy Mezcos, and I'll buy Mafex also because they do a good job of filling the gaps in characters, and they have a better quality and better quality control and better paint apps than like Marvel Legends do. There are some Marvel Legends that I'm totally cool with, but like overall, they're looking all right. So like, what Mezco Godzilla figures are you talking about? You talking about this 3-pack?
We're gonna have a live. Yeah, there it is.
Look at it. It's so cool. Or are you talking about the one that's $400 because it's fucking huge? Because like, yeah, that's a bit much. I don't know why they have a $400 Godzilla figure, but I don't know. And then I mean, going back to the first thing we were talking about was the hiss. Oh, this was $300. It's not $350. And this also came with a lot of extra stuff because of it was basically a crowdfunded campaign where like you kind of like the Proton Pack, like there were different unlocks as it acquired more backers, and this had what, over 3 times the amount of backers that it required, so all the tiers were unlocked. I think the Valiverse is more comparable to something like the Engine of Vengeance, which was I'm kind of glad Dan's here to see this part, because it's fun to see an outsider's perspective on these prices. So Dan, this is
oh wow.
This is the Engine of Vengeance.
Why is that $350 goddamn dollars though?
And that's why it didn't get funded.
It didn't hit the target because people were pissed. I
was gonna say, does it actually light on fire and you can burn yourself? Because then it's worth $350. Notice that the Ghostbusters PKE meter and trap, we're getting 2 props with all the stuff that it actually does, and supposedly the PKE meter is going to act as an EVP detector as well for that same amount of money. This is a car that has pretend fire.
This is why it costs so much. This was their justification.
That's not justification.
I know. The vehicle.
I'm not yelling at you, by the way. I'm
no. I know.
If you cut $100 off, that automatically hits the target. I guarantee it.
That's what everybody else is saying. Yep.
$100, $100 whole dollars, and you just laid off half your. How many workforce did Hasbro lay off?
17% or something, right?
So you're raising. So you're selling that car for $350, and they laid off a bunch of people. No, you target on my nuts. That's what you target.
It was 1,700. They laid off 1,700. Spotify laid off 17%. That's what it was.
I just you can use real fire, damn it! It's a one-time trick. I'm so.
Robbie Reyes looks more like Meltman. This turned into an action league now. Actually,
yeah, really. I'm trying so hard not to get on a soapbox, but I've already been on there, so I might as well plant both feet. It's 2023. Why we as a society?
Is it?
Yeah,
is it?
It's 2024.
This
Why?
Is live. This was not aired in the past.
I'm not editing this one, so it's not my problem. The fact that we as a society in general are still allowing certain things happening in public in front of everybody's eyes and just going, that's fine, is baffling to me. And one of those things is ripping off people, and that's a fucking ripoff in the face of laying. What did you say? 17?
Well, this was a while ago. Like this was 2 years ago now. Yeah, this is 2022.
That car?
Yeah, that they tried to do this. Sorry, I forgot I stopped sharing. That was
probably
early 2022 that they were trying to do that. So
my point stands, man.
Hey, man. Hey.
I was gonna say, additionally, it felt like the 350 price point was including their tiers, their unlocks.
Yeah.
So, like, if you included the other 2 or 3 figures that they had behind it, I was like, okay, that's where the $100 is at. These don't feel like incentives anymore. It feels like you're buying the whole package, and then if they hit their goal, you finally get the incentive of having the other figure, which is kind of horseshit. Yeah.
Well, now it feels like, well, if you don't hit this goal, we're gonna have to lay 38 people off.
Do it, or he loses his job.
Hey, Jeff, you worked on the Engine of Vengeance, right? Didn't make it. Get out of here, buddy.
Fuck out of here.
It's like the old National Lampoon magazine cover with the gun holded to the dog's head. If you don't buy this magazine, we're going to shoot this. Like, unreal. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No,
I don't think anybody is that big of a fan of Ghost Rider to be buying that. Whew, that's oof.
Honestly, I was really surprised when I saw the Vamp was only $100. I was like, that's a great price. I thought it was a great price. The vehicle looks awesome, and I don't want to try and come across. I'm not trying to be divisive between the Valor Bros and the GI Joe Bros, because I know that there are very vocal sides to that, and I don't really want Bobby Valor to try and come and fight me because I'm voicing my opinion on his line. But he'll probably get other people to do it. Can you edit that out, Dan?
No, nope. Leaving that in.
Well, it was
come at me, Valley. Come at me,
good,
lead singer of him.
It was a good last stream. I got the wings of a butterfly on my side. God, him was. I'll be
right here in your arms.
That was such a terrible band.
Well, I liked a few of their songs.
Oh man.
Mostly it was the Bam Margera influence, and then I was like, well, they kind of suck. So 300. Wait, the PK emitter trap was less than that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. No,
it was the engine. The engine of vengeance was an engine of greed. And like Pete says, it was a reach, I think, even if you put in those other unlocks, because I think that they were looking at the success of the different campaigns they've had and were like, let's shoot for the moon. Maybe we'll hit it.
No, and instead you ended up being like the Apollo 1 fire.
Or like they shot into the air and then it came down and then hit like 1,700 of their employees.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the Ghost Trap and PKE meter again. It's got like 30 modes and about 15 add-ons. There's no way it's worth the same thing.
Oh man.
Just took out 1,700 people in one shot.
Yeah. But all right. Dan, I think we're gonna move on with the show. It was great having you on. Thank you for coming on as long as you did. I wasn't sure how we'd keep you reined in because there's something I think you like to talk sometimes.
No, I hate the sound of my own voice. I hate talking. I don't like talking at all.
I do hate the sound of my own voice, though. Oh God, I forget.
Well, I agree.
I forget that I have to hear it sometimes. But
yeah, trying to get this guy to watch videos.
So Dan, where can people find you on streaming or on podcasts and everything?
Just search Danlaw83. I was laughing at Ash. You can follow me on any platform at Danlaw83, except for OnlyFans. That's not me.
That's only Dan's.
Only Dan.
Can you guys hear children crying?
Why? What's in your basement?
I don't have a basement. I live in an apartment.
Sure you don't.
My neighbors have children that are crying.
Where can people find Dan? In the bushes usually? No, that's my uncle. He's usually in the bushes. He went to jail for that.
Uncle. So Dan, where can people follow you? Well,
Danlaw83 on all if you're looking for your podcast, if you're looking for the podcast, HIAC Talk Radio, or go to HIACTalkRadio.com or YouTube, Twitch, Threads, Blue Sky,
Periscope,
ULive, Daily Motion,
MySpace,
Friendster, Open Teen Diary, Live Journal, Danlaw83.
Thank you for coming on, sir. It's been a pleasure. Pete and I are gonna go over a few last things and then wrap up for the evening. So
thank you for having me. Lower your prices, you pricks.
They were talking to Hasbro and them like, we're not changing anything with Shadow Moses. Dan, thank you. I will talk to you later. Have a good night.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Toodles.
Good night, Dan. Thank you.
Oh wow, he left himself. Good. I didn't want to have to do it because I was gonna. Well, no, he beat me to it. Bastard.
Oh Jesus. So what do we have left?
I didn't know if there was anything that we needed to go over that we wanted to talk about specifically, because I know that we went on a whole lot of tangents back there. I don't know that there's anything necessarily new and releases coming out that needs to come up other than the Valor vehicle, which was really the big one for me. Anything that you wanted to touch on?
No, I think what we had discussed earlier, we were talking about the finishing touches of the driving arcade. We practically are done with the prototype, which is a great thing.
Yep.
So what we are doing is, I have it actually right here. I'm just waiting on some steering wheels for the product, but we've already attached a magnet to it. I'm also using like a UV pen, so these will now glow under black light, the little coin return slots. This one already has the lighting kit inside of it, and tested it out. So this is basically going to sit like this, and then this chair can also move back and forth. So if you wanted to add your figures in there, depending on, the important part is to ensure that the figure that you have sitting in here their knee is bent and resting here. So that way their leg can sit properly onto the pedals. And depending on the length size of the leg of that, we have the adjustable seat here to help with that. The other issue that we ran into with the previous model is we had the steering wheel column coming straight out. So it was hitting the knees on some of the figures. So I added a 10-degree angle on the steering wheel column. It might be a little hard to see there, but this also slides in and out. So it'll move up as you put the steering wheel into the character's hands, and it'll look like they're driving it for your photography and your collection. The first arcade that I decided to go with, and I usually say I because I like to design stuff that Matt and I would like to own and share that with you folks, is we decided to go with Mario Kart, since that's a big favorite of ours. It's inclusive of all the characters that we had growing up, like Mario, Luigi's my favorite, honestly. And so I'm starting the decals and the artwork for that right now.
Wait, you say Luigi's your favorite?
Luigi is my favorite, yeah. Even in the original Nintendo game, I would try to opt for the second player.
I thought you were a Wario guy. No, it looks good. I was really happy to see the pictures coming together, so that's really cool. I guess, yeah, I don't know why I was surprised at how quickly you were able to print it out with that angle, but I guess it was just that one section. So
yes, yeah, so I try to group everything in sections, and I try to save them where it'll still be editable if I have a question on like how something's going to fit. Like if I can see that this might be a problem, I won't save the file. I'll save a second version of the file, so that way I can backtrack in some instances. Or if I know that I can pull myself out of that situation with like the steering wheel column here, all you have to do is basically pull the circle back, create another column, reposition it at the 10-degree angle, cut it out.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You laughing about?
No, that was for Dan.
Creating columns and pulling out? Or? Oh, okay.
No, that was an obscure reference for Dan. Although he'll probably not understand it because I mess it up a bit. No, but no, but that looks good. Also, I just want to let you know that I did pick up that 2-pack for you.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to pull that up?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
So this is some of the artwork I'm currently working on. This is basically just drafts of everything. Some of the reference art that I'm looking at has the blue checkers on the bottom and like some wavy checkers along the top. So that's kind of what we're going for here. It was hard to find that picture in the middle in a usable large format file, like nice HD format. But luckily I have a program that changes that format, upscales it for you, and adds better pixelation and quality in a larger, I think about 4x format. So I'm able to use now, which is something else I wanted to reveal, that not only am I working on the artwork for that, but I do have artwork for the original Punisher arcade, which I had said in the past was really hard to find because they don't really have a lot of instances of the original machines in their artwork, and a lot of what you see now are recreations. And everybody's kind of like keeping those close to the vest because typically they make that artwork themselves.
Yeah.
So here I was able to find and upscale some artwork for the Punisher arcade, and we will now be including that in our store with the original Punisher arcade.
Are you pulling it up or no?
I was gonna pull it up, but it still needs some work, so it's
okay. Okay, no, that's fine. I just wanted to be sure. I was gonna hide that if you were looking through files just to get rid of it and stuff. Nice, awesome. I haven't been doing anything. No, there's something that I'm kind of working on for a friend for like a late Christmas present, so that's kind of been consuming my time. But I also haven't been able to get to my storage unit because of this weather that we've been having. Because I do want to grab some stuff out of that to use as a reference for these things that I want to design. But right now, yeah, I'm just kind of working on that personal project. Yep, Christmas 2024.
Oh, I know we were also talking about 3D printing's like practical aspects.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I have a card table that I use for a lot of my reviews and my photography pictures. So I have basically like a Costco white card table, folds out so the legs, and I have this awesome tripod for my camera, but it doesn't go down to the level of the table. So I was trying to figure out how to fix that situation with still using my tripod, but also keeping this cheap table and not having to buy something adjustable or buy anything at all. So what I designed was leg extenders for the table to prop it up another 6 inches. So now whatever I'm reviewing can be dead on for the photography there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool to see. I think that you went a bit. Well, actually, I don't know how far they're raising it, so never mind.
It's 6 inches.
Okay, so that's why they're so long. Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. I figured it was a lot shorter because I saw how tall they looked, and I was like, at first I thought you did it like for security with the leg, but I was like, knowing it's 6 inches, that's pretty cool. Oh, okay, you have it.
So this is pretty cool. Now that I could put the camera dead on, I could actually lower it and maybe go upwards on the shots a little bit. And as you can see, it's just four simple little feet. That's all. Just tried to keep it simple. Didn't want to spend anything else on another table or another location or anything like that. So.
Nice.
And that's pretty much all I have. I mean, right now we're just resin printing some of the steering wheels. And when that is done, I will pop that on here to see if it had fixed our knee issue. And then if that works out, we will continue on with the decals and try to get these on the website as soon as possible.
I hate MacBooks. They're so dumb. I'm looking for something real fast. Sorry. Does it work? Thank you. It is. So, just sharing that for Dan. Oh man. But yeah. I think that's all I have to go over. He's gonna listen to that whole album now. Whew. Yeah. Other than that, that's all I have to go over. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, or do you want to do it, Pete? Do you want to do the sign?
Yeah, sure, I'll do it. Yes, please.
Okay.
So, if you guys want to hear more of our thoughts, tune in every Sunday at 8 p.m. live on YouTube. Head to our ShadowMoses112.com to add our accessories to your collection. If you want to slide to our Instagram, ShadowMoses112, to see what our current projects that we're working on, including the upcoming driving arcade. And remember, 2.5-inch figures are for kids. Don't buy them.
Unless they're really cool, but usually they aren't.
Usually not.
I'm Matt from Shadow Moses 112, producer, co-designer, lazy hoarder. Signing off with Pete.
Adios.
That's your favorite.